know what it feels like to be sitting in the courtroom watching the world lie on you. And there's nothing you can do about it. And welcome back to my channel. I am Legally Hype, and today I'm gonna get a little personal with you all. I'm gonna do something really different. Um, I started this journey, as most of you know, like I'm in law school, and my reason for coming to law school, I'm getting choked up already, it's crazy. My reason for coming to law school was to, or is to, um, get my brother who was wrongfully convicted out of prison. I'm joking. Okay, I'm back. So my reason for coming to law school was or is to get justice for my brother and get my brother out of prison after he was wrongfully convicted and sentenced to 50 years to life in prison for a crime he did not commit when he was only 15 years old. And the journey has been really, really interesting, but I never really share, I've never really shared how this entire process has affected me and kind of what I've gone through internally with this. And so my reason for wanting to even share this is like, I don't know very many people who are going through my situation. I haven't met very many people who are going through what I'm going through. I mean, I've obviously met plenty of people whose siblings or family member or someone close to them has been incarcerated. Not too many wrongfully convicted other than like clients that I've worked with or whatever. So, and usually, you know, when you go through the process with them, you know, by that time, their loved one is on their way, kind of at the end of the road. So I've never had anyone sort of go through this journey or like really connect with me through the journey. And so my hope is that maybe if there's someone out there who is experiencing what me and my family are going through right now, or have been here, you know, and so my purpose in sharing my story, right, is that I want to be able to encourage other people and just be really vulnerable about my experience, because you just never know who out there, someone else out there, I know for a fact, right, because I've been in this field and I've done this work for so long, that there's somebody out there who's going through the same thing I'm going through or experiencing what I'm experiencing, and maybe they don't have anyone else to connect to. So my hope is that in sharing my story, like, I can just help someone, right? It's like really hard to talk about because I'm like really angry. I'm really angry a lot. And again, alright, I'm gonna just do it. I'm angry a lot, and the more I go through law school, I realize like the more frustrated I start to get. Because the more I learn and the more I'm exposed to, I need another moment, sorry. The more I learn and the more exposure I have to the law, I find myself being really frustrated and realizing like how the system is really stacked against like me as a person, as a Black woman, and most importantly against my brother as a wrongfully convicted citizen, right? And it's frustrating. So I was talking to my brother earlier today, and we were having a conversation regarding like what I'm gonna do when I'm done with law school. And so I'm in this space where I really don't know where I fit in or where I belong, or like where my experience and my passion and my know, like my law degree, right? I don't know where I will best fit because I play this like tug of war between, oh God, sorry. I don't know why I'm so emotional, like, that's crazy. We're about to get through this because I have to go to class, so we're about to shoot this video and get it out so I can go to class. I don't know where I fit in and where like I'm gonna be best like useful once I'm done, because I have this tug of war and I play both sides in the sense of like I have gone through the experience of having a wrongfully convicted family member, and I mean like my brother, right? So I'm the oldest of all my siblings. I have 3 brothers and I have 2 sisters, and I'm the oldest. Brandon is second in line next to me, so we're very close. Like that's my first best friend, right? Like so you know, we have a bond and we're tight, and so just being that close to it, I have felt mentally incarcerated with him since like day one. Where at the same time, in learning the law and working for different sectors in the legal system and just seeing how the dynamic works, like, you know, I'm not completely anti-system, right? I think that sometimes people mistake the fact that I'm anti-wrongful conviction, that I'm like anti-prosecution, and that's not the case, right? My best friend is a prosecutor, or, you know, one of my best friends is a prosecutor. That's why, like, I really said that. Like, you know how when people be like, oh, I got a black friend, right? Like, I kind of feel like that in that, but that was not my intention. Anyways, I digress back to the real conversation at hand. So I haven't found my space. I'm not really sure like where I fit in and what I want to do. And so Brandon was like, well, you're in a really cool place because you know both sides, right? And I was like, yeah, but that's where the frustration comes. So on the one hand, I have plenty of friends who are like pro prosecution, right? Like they cannot wait to be prosecutors. And it's very fitting for them, right? They're passionate about it. But then at the same time, I get frustrated because most of them have never seen a trial from start to finish. Most of them have never been to a prison to visit someone, been to a jail to visit someone. Most of them really have never been to jail, right? Like nothing. And so sometimes when we have dialogue, I come from a place of, I know what it feels like to be sitting in the courtroom watching the world lie on you. And there's nothing you can do about it. And there's times in my life where it's almost like I go through this time warp and I'm stuck sitting in the podium behind Brandon. I can see him sitting at the table in his blue suit, shoulders back, and he's stoic as can be. While all these people that he doesn't know discuss him and his life, and on the one hand, there's one person who's talking about him like he's a monster. Like he just doesn't care and like he's not a child, right? And on the other hand, you have this attorney, and I'm really referring to the second one because the first one, we cool. The second one, we got issues, bro. Just FYI. And now that I'm more versed in the law, we definitely, that's a whole nother episode. So anyways, on the other hand, you have a person, an attorney who is trying to convince 12 people that he doesn't know that the person sitting next to him, who he also does not know, is not the person that the prosecutor is trying to make him out